film or series lit your fuse when you were young and made you have to tell stories on screen?
Well, I'm not too sure if it was if this particular movie made me have to tell stories on screen. I think I wanted to do that anyway. That was something that was bouncing around at the back of my head, and I was excited by it. I was always interested in drama. I was doing school plays at the time, and it was definitely one of my two goals, which I was going to go for. But when I watched Ridley Scott's Gladiator with Russell Crowe, that was such a wonderful experience. I went with, I think it was my English class, and it was a special trip which my teacher planned, and we all went together and watched the movie, and it was such a unique experience because, one, it was watching it with other students, and rather than just going by myself when I was on school holidays or anything. And also we got to discuss the movie afterwards. I don't particularly remember what was said in those discussions, but all of a sudden it felt like more of a thing than it ever had before. There was more of a breakdown as to what was happening and why we liked the movie. And I love that period of history anyway. And the way they presented it was engaging and fun. And it made me think, that's the kind of stuff I want to do. And I didn't realize that sort of stuff was, you could transport it from your brain so easily to the screen. And so for me, it was Gladiator. Gladiator was a formative experience in my youth when it came to my pursuit of acting.
Was there perhaps a moment in that film or a few moments that just rose above all others? Like you mentioned Russell Crowe, and for me, the one where I was like, who is this guy? Came in LA Confidential when he played Bud White, and it was just like great actors, and it was almost like everybody else kind of went into the backdrop. He was a tour de force as Maximus, but what specifically captivated you most about that movie?
Well, I think it's actually the combination of so many things. It's something that I've learned over my years as an actor, is that it's not down to one performance. Someone could give the greatest performance of their life, but without all the other performances to actually support that and to create a leading character, and without the director to make sure it's presented in the right way, without the editor to make sure all the best bits are selected and chosen, and without the DOP to make sure it's lit beautifully as it all were, it doesn't work. And so it's the combination of all of those things in that movie. I didn't see weaknesses when I was watching it. Nothing took me out of the moment. Nothing took me out of Rome or out of the period of history. And that was the wonderful piece of it. And so many good actors and such incredible performances. And so I wouldn't say it was any one moment. It's a combination of all those pieces and so well executed for the duration of the movie.
There are certain guys who get certain roles, and Russell certainly is one of them. And you have played some very iconic figures in films, but the one obviously that is in our minds right now is Superman. What burned in you to play that character in a film?
Obviously, the character is an enormously important pop icon. You know, he's prevalent in all of our lives in one way, shape, or form. I mean, as a young boy, I was running around the garden with a Superman outfit on. Even though I didn't know what it really meant, it was imparting a lesson upon me of being a hero and being positive. And so when the opportunity came to audition and then screen test for the first Superman, which I didn't get, it was something which was exciting, and there was just a feeling to it. And I still get that feeling walking onto the Warner Brothers lot, because I think that was my formative experience of that lot, was turning up there to meet with Laura Kennedy, the casting director, and speak about Superman and try and do my best job in getting this role. And there's a sense of it's something beautiful about that character. There's something so true and honest and hopeful, which is the best of all of us. And I love that. And it's sort of, thinking about it now, actually, it reminds me of the boy I was, of the young boy in school. Sort of, I expected, not expected is the wrong word. I assumed the best of everyone and was often surprised, and have often been surprised by myself as well, when I haven't done the best of which I could have done and been the best of myself. And so for that character, I think it's that. I think it's the thing which we all truly yearn for, deep down, which is goodness and everyone else being good and good to one another and helping one another. Even at our most cynical, I think deep down, that's what we want. And that for me is what burns when it comes to wanting to play that character.
I mean, it was a very pleasant surprise in Black Adam, and you're announcing that you're going to reprise. How important to you, because you're doing a whole bunch of really interesting films, then you're doing The Witcher and you've got Nola. How important was it for you to not say goodbye to that character as many actors have in the past?
It was very important, but also not within my control. And so as an actor, you have to learn that there are things out of your control, no matter what you may think, no matter how your performance was, no matter what factors were not in your control in the first place, no matter how the audience feels. And so it was something which I had to sort of very gently hold on to in my heart, because I didn't know whether I would have the opportunity to play it again, and to play it in the way which I've just spoken about in your previous question, my previous answer. And so it was always that. It was just very, very gently holding on to it. And the opportunity was very important to get again. And I'm very, very lucky, and I feel very privileged to have that opportunity now.
Yes. Well, now, on your way up, as you were developing your skills as an actor and working, was there a movie or series that you watched, and perhaps it was a performance that was just so good it made you just shake your head and say, wow, can I ever rise to that level?
The question has an implication, and I think with that, there's a matter of self-confidence when it comes to an actor, which is necessary. You have to believe in yourself to be able to achieve the things you want to achieve, because it's a dog-eat-dog industry, and it's tough. It's emotionally tough, it's psychologically tough, it's physically tough as well, but especially in the beginning phases where you're always being told no, and for various reasons, whether it was a bad audition, or whether you don't look right, or whether you're not a big enough name yet. There's a million reasons why you shouldn't do the job, and there's sometimes only one that you should. And so I think self-belief is really important. And there wasn't a stage where I watched a performance and said, oh, will I ever reach that level? It was more of I really enjoyed that, and I really want the opportunity to be able to do that. And I'm excited by the pursuit of that. And thankfully, so far, it seems to have turned out reasonably well, and especially with the latest news. And so I hope to continue in that pursuit for the rest of my career.
Whether it was a success or maybe approval from somebody whose opinion mattered to you, what first gave you the confidence that, in fact, you could do this? You did belong here.
I think, as ridiculous as it may sound, or as corny as it may sound, I think it's my mother's approval and my father's approval. It's turning to your family, to those who know you best, and to who you know best as well, so you can tell when they're lying. And they say things like, you did a really good job there, and it's sincere. It's not just pat on the back and well done, dear, and that sort of thing. You felt the sincerity. And sometimes when I saw my older brothers look at me in a certain way and they said, hey, that was really impressive. And you see the older brother being not only surprised but impressed by a performance, and you think, okay, maybe I do have this. But that's only the very beginning stages of all of that. And And I think lately, my partner Natalie Pescuso, she has she has given me so much confidence in myself, because it can be tough being away from everything, and you're always breaking your own performances down and trying to work your best. But she has been an incredible support system for me, and really opened my eyes to a lot of things, and opened a gateway for me to drive harder and pursue further. And I'm eternally grateful for that.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, I've done over 100 of these, and you are the first person who didn't cite someone they looked up to in the industry, or a mentor, a professional person, but actually your family. There's something pure about that, because, you know, they're not to shine you on, are they?
Well, I mean, hey, I hope there's something good about that rather than terribly, terribly wrong.
Well, now, what would you say was the biggest obstacle that you had to overcome to allow you to turn the projects that influenced you into your own language as a performer?
I think I'm only starting to do that now. I think that will happen in my next chapter, in the chapter which we're opening at this stage. Up until now, I've had the wonderful opportunity to work with the likes of Matthew Vaughn and Guy Ritchie and Macquarie and others. But I think this next chapter is when I finally get to speak in my own language and to be there from the beginning of the creative process, from the birth of every idea into the realization, into its culmination on screen. And I think so. Watch this space is the answer to that.